This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 335.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everyone, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. There are no WordCamps next weekend, but there is WordCampus, which is this week. It's July 29th and 30th. It's free, by the way. It's for higher education. It's at 2020.wpcampus.org. It's, like I said, completely free. It's the middle of the week as of this. This comes out on Monday, obviously, so it's a couple of days after this. So check that out if you're interested. Also, WordPress.com is having a growth summit coming up in August in about 2 weeks. It's August 11th through the 13th. It's about $80. And it's teaching people how to learn and build and grow your site from start to scale. It's taught by a whole bunch of great people in the industry, some automaticians, some people not automatic. So it's pretty cool there. Check that out. And there's a blog post about it as well. I'll link to that in the show notes as well. Is that it? Yeah, that's it for upcoming events. That's all I got in the ether out there. What else? All right, moving on. Segment 1 in the news. One thing right now, and by the time I'm recording a couple days early than normal, just because I'm going on a little break. I'll tell you that in a second. WordPress 5.5 Beta 3 is out. And by the time this comes out, maybe in this next week, probably Beta 4. And they're on track to release on August 11th still. So if you want to test it, you can. There's a WordPress beta tester plugin. Get the bleeding edge nightlies, etc. Check that out. So beta 3 for 5.5 is still on track. All right, moving on to the meat and potatoes of this week's show. It's been 8 weeks, so it's time for another Q&A episode. I have about 4 questions I want to answer from people who sent them in. First one is from Yvette. Yvette says, I saw that WordPress 5.5 will allow plugins to upload as zips. What does this mean? So thanks, Yvette. Oh, Yvette Morrison. Okay, cool. Well, this means that you'll no longer have to turn off a plugin and remove it to update it sometimes. So in the past, you had to do that for certain plugins. You already had it. It said can't update, especially like in the premium plugin world. You'd have to turn off a plugin, remove it, update it. And that's always scary. Like, what's happening here? Why do I have to do that? It's not always the case, but I've seen it happen a lot. So now you can actually have the plugin, let's say from the premium plugin developer site, download the most recent version, upload it, and it'll go ahead and it'll do the update for you in place while the current version is still there. So it kind of does it on the fly, if you will. It's a great question, a little confusing, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. I've had this happen in the past, like with Gravity Forms once or twice. I think it also happened with Beaver Builder once. I mean, just little things like that. It does happen from time to time, so it's pretty cool. So that answers that question. Moving right along here. Oh, this is a good one. Who's this from? I think this is from Eric. Yeah, this might be. I think I was talking to Eric about this. But what is the difference between transactional and inbox emails? Ooh, good question. So basically, it's this. So transactional emails are also known as what's called like triggered emails because they include an email that is triggered by a user interaction with a web page, for example. So case in point. Membership, order confirmations, password resets, email receipts. So when the server itself something happens that triggers something, that's a transactional email, and it happens at the host at that level, right? A inbox email is also known as a marketing email that you send out with permission of the person on that list. Usually via an ESP, otherwise known as email service provider, like Aweber, Mailchimp, ConvertKit, etc. And those categories are going to be more like newsletters, welcome emails, a drip campaign, a special holiday sale, that type of thing. And I send those out. And I use a combination of Aweber, Mailchimp. Those are the 2 services I currently use and recommend as well. So something to consider here, though, and I remember why this came up. That's right. If you're going to use a service like DigitalOcean or some type of droplet service, where those don't send emails, they don't have any email service providers. So you need to set up a service that will do the transactional emails, that will do those. When a new user is created, they get their email address, they get the login, resets. So you might have to use a service like that, like SendGrid, Mandrill, Mailgun. And those services do have fees. On the higher level stuff, many of them offer a free tier for low volume needs. etc. So check those out as well. And I know a lot of people use SendGrid, and they like that. I've never set those up, so I don't have experience doing that. Maybe I can do that for you all one time if you need that help. We can talk about that down the line. So there you go. That's it. Transactional is what comes from a triggered event on the website, like a resetting a password. Marketing or an inbox email, is more about just the sending something with permission via an email service provider. Okay. Two more questions here. This one is sent in by, who is this one by? I don't know. This is anonymous. I don't know who this is. I keep seeing that PHP notification is out of date and needs to be updated. What does that mean? Well, person who I don't know who sent this in, since WordPress 5.1, there has been that notification of the outdated PHP in your dashboard. Typically means you're running an old version of PHP, pre-version 7, like 5.6, 5.5. And what it means is you need to update it. I highly recommend that you do update it because you'll see a speed increase. I did some testing like a year ago about this. So your database will run faster. It's more secure. The old versions of PHP are no longer being supported and are being deprecated slowly but surely. So if you have the wherewithal, some technical knowledge, you feel comfortable in cPanel, you can do it yourself. If you don't, then I recommend you ask your hosting company to do it for you. Open a ticket there. Or if you're paying somebody like myself or our agency for maintenance, we can do it. And we've done it across the board for all of our clients now. So it's not that difficult. But keep in mind, some plugins may break based on the PHP version of going up to 7 or 7.3, et cetera, is where we're at right now, 7.4 actually. Rev slider is a culprit here. Old websites running old Rev sliders don't like the new version of PHP. Not to say that Rev slider won't work. You just need to get the updated version there as well. Be prepared for that to break. Be prepared to maybe pay for the upgrade if you haven't paid for your ongoing Rev slider plugin. So that is something to think about as well. Okay, I think that's that one. And is this the last question? Oh, the last question. This was no. There's two more. This is kind of funny one from a friend. Can I make everyone in the company an admin on the site? Yes, you can, but don't. I know why this is here. We were talking about this in a conversation on Slack. You don't want to have everyone have admin access, but people need certain user roles. So I would recommend using like User Role Manager. It's a plugin to create custom roles. Makes it much safer. You really don't want to give everyone admin access. That is for sure one of the things. It's a no-no in my opinion. Not to say that you don't want the owner of the site to have admin access in some capacity. And I always say it this way: I don't have a God complex when it comes to the website. I have a God, you don't pay me enough money to fix your mistake complex type of thing. So that's how I approach it. So use User Role Manager. If you need to create a custom role, highly recommend that plugin. All right, this one is the last question. This came in literally last night before recording this. This is from Joey from Singapore. He says, today, I'd like to ask you a question about selling ebooks. Do you think we should offer a refund? I'm just afraid that some people might abuse it and get ebook for free. I'd love to hear your thoughts. By the way, I remember you selling an ebook about EDD. Did you offer a refund? Okay. Hey, Joey. Thanks for the questions. Great minds think alike because actually, as I just launched a new membership site recently, I was actually thinking about refunds and how to handle them. But that is different. I think it's going to be a different episode altogether because that's about memberships and a little different, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, in answer to your question about ebooks, I do have one, but it's not actually about EDD. It's about a course I was going to create, which didn't happen, but I digress. So the ebooks itself, my ebook was about my email process for prospecting new clients and using my CRM. It's still for sale. It's $20. I think it's on sale off and on, whatever. It depends on a couple things about offering refunds for ebooks and software in question, in particular. So I think there's three things to consider here. First, number one, why do they want their money back? It's a question you need to ask them. Did it not work on their device? Was there a technical glitch, etc.? If that's the case, perhaps offer some support. Have a documentation. Hey, if you couldn't get it on the device or didn't open or it's corrupt, here's another copy of it, something like that. Figure out what's going on there. Number two, did they not get any value? And if they didn't see the value in it, perhaps ask why. What were they expecting? And maybe that helps you make that ebook even better for the next version. Might be kind of a cool way to solve that problem. Number three, when are they asking? Is it one day after? Is it 1 month, 6 months? If it's one day, yeah, they're probably trying to get something for free. And if the book costs like under $5, or if it's one of those cheaper books or that you're just trying to give away, I'd say refund it. They're not going to be happy no matter what. If it's over a certain price point, let's say $20, $30, $50, well, maybe revisit that and see, again, what's the value proposition that you're offering that they may not have gotten or they felt they got. And if it's past a certain time frame, I would say no, like 30 days or 45 days, 60 days, whatever feels good for you. If someone comes back 60 days later and says, hey, I want a refund, That's not cool. That's just them being, I guess, buyer's remorse, I imagine. So those are my reasons behind it. Software is similar. A lot of companies give a lot of companies will do a 30-day money back guarantee as long as they have tried to help you implement the plugin. So there's that as well. So you want to offer that support. Make sure that it's really not working for you in that case. And the ebook is different, but it's that value prop, I think. So I think that answers the question. It's an awesome question. Yeah, refunds are tough. I just had to give one yesterday. But I did it. It was no big deal. It's almost easier sometimes if again, $5, $10, $20, the problem goes away. Here you go. So, all right, moving on. Segment 3, tip until the week. Speaking of e-commerce, this week's tip is a plugin. It's WooCommerce Product Vendor add-on. It turns your store into a multi-vendor marketplace. I was looking at this because I'm talking to a client about an idea for a project. They want to sell through WooCommerce additional items under other people selling on their marketplace. It's $80 add-on. Pretty darn cool. Found some videos online about it. Really has quite the ability to do some pretty cool things. Check it out. I don't have any connection to it except that I'm probably going to use it for this project, for this client, and that's it. Just looked neat. So WooCommerce Product Vendors add-on. And that is it for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email or use the SpeakPipe function on the website. You can become a Patreon over at KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. You can sponsor the show. There's a forum on the website for that as well. Thank you so much for listening. See you next week. Now go do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.